Today we're going to look at how to get into Oxford for their postgraduate courses. Hi, I'm Richard, and over the last 10 years I've helped hundreds of students get into top schools, Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, Imperial, LBS and others around the world. I've paired with a network of over 1,000 ex-university admissions consultants to help bring you the tips in this video. And today we're going to go through 5 tips to help supercharge your Oxford application. Let's jump in. Now, tip number 1 is academics. Not much to say on this one other than Oxford has the strongest and strictest academic requirements of any university in the UK. Realistically, it is expected that you will have a first class, a 3.7 or above GPA, or the top grades that you can in your country. Oxford will consider less than that, but you better have some brilliant experience on your CV or something amazing to bring if you're going to combat that. As an example of how strict they are, on the GMAT focus score for the business school courses, they require a 655 on average. That is 100 points more than any other course, or going from the top 50% of applicants to the top 9.7% of applicants. They really expect you to be the top 10% of everything you do. So any grades you have where you're in the top 10%, mention them. Get your referee to be someone who says that you're in the top 10, top 5, top person in your cohort, and keep mentioning everywhere you can where you have been in that top 10%. Tip number 2, academic debate. Oxford is far more interested in your mind than your career progression. Very different from other universities you might be applying to, in particular Imperial or London Business School come to mind here. They want an academic debate, for which I recommend the simple and effective thesis, antithesis, synthesis approach, the foundations of academic debate, which Oxford helped to pioneer over the centuries it has been going. Thesis, get an academic theory relevant to your subject and explain the main authors in this and what they've said. Antithesis, who came next and said that's all wrong, and put through some counterexamples. Finally, synthesis, how do we take the best of both approaches for a new revisionist method? This is what most academics do in Oxford all day long, and if you sound like you've already done the course, sat on it and written essays in this style, you're far more likely to stand out as someone who can succeed in the academic rigor of Oxford. Use academic debate. In fact, 80 to 85% of your application should be academic content. Oxford are not interested in career or other experiences in the way that other universities require them. Now, number 3, interview. Oxford are likely to interview for many of their courses, whether that's an interview with an admissions officer, with a professor from the course, or increasingly a pre-recorded interview such as Kira Talent. Look at the description in the below for a video on how to smash those pre-recorded interviews on Kira Talent. Then you need to prepare for this. Interview prep doesn't start after you've been received an interview invite. Interview prep doesn't start when you get the invite to interview. No, that's too late. You need to be thinking of the interview prep before you submit your application. How do I position myself in the best possible position? Again, mention those academics in your application, mention that you're in the top 10% of the cohort, and you are far less likely to be on the defense. And you are far less likely to be on the defense in your interview, and more likely to be able to enjoy it and talk about these amazing readings that you've read. Bonus points if you can name drop an Oxford professor and their research, because you might even be interviewed by this person and be able to talk with them about it. What a fantastic way to start an interview from someone who's not met you to talk about their own research with you. Academics love that. Now, tip number 4, bolster your CV with brand names. Oxford is a huge brand and they want to see you work with other huge brands. If you've worked with a top big 4 company in your industry, fantastic. If you haven't, have they been clients that you've worked with in your work experience? If not, consider a virtual internship. There are these amazing programs where you can work for free, many of them, and experience an onboarding of these companies. Put it on your CV, suddenly you've got a big brand name. Lastly, consider external courses, maybe even Oxford's courses themselves. Many of these paid courses give a certificate that you can then go and put another fantastic brand name on the top of your CV. Maybe it's MIT, maybe it's Saeed of Oxford's Business School. Maybe it's UPenn in America on their quantitative financial analytics course. Do an external course, put it on your CV, add those big brand names to stand out. And lastly, visit the open day. There's a lot of virtual open days, so don't worry if you're not based in the UK or can't make it over to Oxford, but go to an open day. One of the hidden criteria here is networking. If you've met someone at Oxford and can name drop them in your application, it shows you're the sort of person who's going to do that throughout your career and be very, very successful. Now, that's just 5 of the tens of tips we have to help supercharge applications to all courses, not just Oxford, but also the competitors, Cambridge and other top universities all around the world. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like, share it with your friends who are applying. And if you've got any questions for us, stick them in the comments below. We love being challenged by questions and seeing if we can come up with some interesting answers to help your application journey. Lastly, if you'd like to work with me or one of my fantastic network to enjoy the 92% success rate we have of helping students get into top universities or their second choice, typically in Oxford and Cambridge, an Oxford and an LSE, please do contact us using the information at the end of this video. Most importantly from me and all the team, best of luck in your application.